Hey there friends, welcome back. My name is Matthew. I'm the C# Artisan. And this video is entitled Custom Delegates. Now, after the last video on delegates versus lambda expressions, some of you kind of wrote back to me and you were like, whoa, I never knew. That's kind of cool. I hadn't really thought of delegates in that formal sort of way. So can we create our own delegates? And the answer is absolutely yes. This is a great programming technique. It's maybe a little old-fashioned, or it's the kind of thing that maybe only comes into play if you're building kind of frameworks, but absolutely it is possible to define your own delegate. So in this video, we're going to have a little fun, and we are going to define and call our own delegate. So here we are back in the delegate test utility from the last video, and I'm going to clear all of this out. We don't need any of our threading code because we're not doing threading. We're going to write our own delegate. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new class. So add class, and we can call this class the Amusing Trick Performer class. So now we need to define our delegate. So let's say this is public delegate void perform trick delegate. And let's say it takes the name of the trick and the number of repetitions. That's what we expect. So anybody expecting to perform a trick needs to create a function that follows that pattern. Doesn't return anything, accepts the name and the repetitions. Now, it's up to them to decide what it actually does. It can even ignore these parameters, but it has to follow this signature. And then a really common pattern, like if you're building a framework, is to do something like this. We can say private perform trick delegate, del, that's my instance variable. And then we'll create a constructor that expects to be given a delegate on construction. So this is kind of matching that thread example. And we can say that del equals del. And then the last thing we need is something which is going to actually call the delegate. So we can do public void perform. And in here is where we actually call the delegate. And this function also has to match the signature, or else it gets a little confusing. So we'll say del name repetitions. Now, just for clarity, I'm going to play around with the console color so you can see what's going on. So we'll say console.foreground color equals console color.yellow. And then let's just print out a line here. Just some like asterisks to create a visual separation. We'll call the delegate. Whoops. And then we can do that again, just to kind of bracket things. And then how about console.writeLine, like that. Okay, so here is our kind of framework code, the amusing trick performer that has defined the delegate. So now back in our program, let's implement this in kind of the clearest way to see, which is with an explicit named function. So we can say public or even private static perform trick. And this needs to match our delegate signature, right? This is our delegate function. So what are we going to do in here? Why don't we say console.foreground color equals console color.blue, and for int I equals 1, I less than or equal to repetitions, I++, And we can say console.writeLine. And we'll do a little string interpolation. Actually, it suggested pretty much what I wanted. And then we'll just put a little sleep in there. How about a second? So that it's kind of dramatic. Oh, and this needs a return value. Okay, so now we have our delegate method that follows that signature. And the last thing is to create our performer and make it perform. So we can say I'm using trick performer equals new performer trick, and then performer dot perform. And why don't we say we'll make it jump 3 times, and we can make it dance 2 times. We'll just call it twice. Missing a quote there, and then I think we're good to go. So hopefully that is clear. We defined the delegate over here, and now we created a function that matches that delegate, and then we're using it in the place that requires it, which is the constructor of this class. Now, delegates are not always just used in constructors. They can be used as parameters to other functions. There's lots of ways you can use them, but this is just a simple example to kind of show how it works. So let's run it and see what this does. It should pop up on my other screen here. I'll go grab it, and we'll press enter to start. So there we get our 3 jumps and our 2 dances. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Now it's up to you to use your imagination and think about where this pattern might help you out, but now you know how to define your own delegate. Hey there, C# friends. Are you enjoying these videos and finding them helpful? I hope so. And if you are, please go ahead and like the video on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you.